Okay. Good day, everyone. Good day once again. So this is our first official class session. Yeah. Um, yeah. So basically, I've been on the Slack channel to find out how many of us have, seen the first video, set up our systems and all of that. And I think from what I've seen, probably about 5, 6 persons have, done that. Maybe you've done that, but you're not communicating. I would like for us to, communicate so that we know where we are at every point in time. We want to carry everybody along. We want to make sure that, you're going at the same pace as the rest of us. That is very important. We don't want to leave anyone behind in a figurative way, so to speak. So yeah. So our official class, before we talk about our official class, I need to talk about a few things. A few things. So we downloaded .NET SDK. We are going to be learning C Sharp. So what are these things? What is .NET SDK? What is C Sharp? Okay, so I would like for Google to give us a broad answer, first of all, before I can see how best I can make it simple for everyone to understand. Let's see. What is .NET? Let's see. SDK. Let's put it that way. Okay, so I'm going to go. I would go to the .NET. Yeah, documentation from Microsoft and then get the definition from this. Says the .NET SDK is a set of libraries or tools that allow developers to create .NET applications and libraries. It contains the following components that are used to build and run applications. The .NET CLI, that's command line interface, .NET libraries and runtime, and then the .NET driver. Right, so when you're downloading the .NET SDK, it's like you're downloading a set of tools that would allow you to create .NET applications. So there are a lot of languages out there. Sorry about that. There are a lot of languages out there. There's C Sharp, the one we're going to be learning. There is F Sharp, which also works with .NET. There is JavaScript, the Scala, there's Python, PHP, a lot of them, right? And some of these languages work with a browser, some of them works with a PC, while others you would need like a software development kit, which is like the full meaning of SDK, to be able to run them, to be able to work with them. And C Sharp is one of them. And without the .NET SDK, you would not be able to run C Sharp on your PC. So C Sharp and the .NET SDK helps, to um, help you to be able to write C Sharp codes and then use them to create .NET applications. And then C Sharp, like I said, is a language. And then what can we use C Sharp for? Let's see, what can we use C Sharp for? Good. So yeah, quickly, like a quick answer, you can see like video games, anti-hacking softwares. Um, let's scroll down. Video games, anti-hacking softwares, Windows apps like Microsoft Office, Skype, and Photoshop and the like. So you could use C# to build Windows apps. Mobile apps on your mobile phones, you could do that. And if your example of mobile apps that are written in C#, you have Slack, the one you're already on, is actually written in C#. You have Pinterest, Insightly, I'm sure we know Pinterest, W, the World Bank, Fox Sports, a lot of websites actually use C Sharp. It's a very popular language according to sorry, as against popular opinion. It's a very popular language. Windows Store apps. So on your Windows Store, and most people use C# for that. And web apps also. You can use C# for web apps, Internet of Things. I'm sure this this is not even as detailed as I wish. I'm coming. Let me see if I can get something that's more detailed. Mm, let's see. Let's see this one. C# corner. I think I checked this one yesterday. All right. So here's a list of types of applications C# can develop. Cloud native apps, you could use it to develop apps on the cloud. Windows client applications, that's front end. You can use C# for front end. There's a framework called Blazor. You can use C# for that. Windows libraries and components, Windows services, web applications, web services, and web API. We're going to be touching on web API and a little bit of web. We're going to be touching on web applications. I think 5 and 6 is what we're going to be touching on. Native iOS and Android mobile apps, I've mentioned that. Backend services, Azure cloud applications, backend databases. We're going to be touching a bit on this. Um, interoperability software such as Office, SharePoint, SQL Server. We're going to be touching on SQL Server, artificial intelligence and machine learning, blockchains and distributed ledger technology, including cryptocurrency, Internet of Things, a lot of, like you're not limited to one particular field. It's as against other languages, so like Swift, you're limited to building iOS for whatever. JavaScript, you're not really limited though. JavaScript have like a whole lot of frameworks that you could use to build stuff, but C# and Microsoft's very good combination. Yeah, so you could look at this website later on to read up on this website, to get more ideas to, what you can do with C#. I'm probably going to add it to the YouTube video description. I don't know. I'll probably do that. I'm not sure yet. Maybe when I'm uploading, I'll do that. Okay. I'm sorry if I'm too fast. Yeah, I'm trying to cut. I don't want the video to be too long. I think shorter videos would serve a very good purpose than a very lengthy video and then get tired. I don't want to, record very lengthy videos. Instead, I'll record short videos. So week 1, we're already halfway into week 1. So let's just see what we can do. At the end of the whole thing, we need to learn the basics of programming, work with primitive and non-primitive types, learn the fundamentals of C# and .NET Core. Like at the end of the whole program, right? These are some of the objectives and the core outcomes that we hope to achieve. So before sorry about that. Okay, so before we continue, on this video, I'll be touching on these first 4 items in the curriculum for this week. Then on another video, I'll move on to these other items. Yeah. So yeah, the first 4 items, starting with setting up Visual Studio. We've touched a bit on this. We've been able to set up our Visual Studio. I'm going to just bring up Visual Studio. Let's see. We're going to open up Visual Studio. And pardon me, the first time, I don't know, I think there were some times where I'll be working on something I thought I was sharing or showing that on the screen, but I wasn't sharing it. I'm sorry about that. I think I'll be more conscious about that this time. Let's see, Visual Studio is coming up. And yeah, I didn't really talk about the parts of Visual Studio also the first time. So I'm going to touch on that also on this call. So it's coming up. I'm sorry about that. My system is a bit slow. Let's give it a second. Responding. Responding. Okay, so while that is happening, let me just quickly explain this. I keep saying command line interface. Yeah, so I really want us to be able to, be comfortable with the CLI, uh, um, because basically as a developer, you probably be working there most of the time as against, just clicking on screens. So the other aspect of a command line or of using the command line interface for a system is using what's called the GUI, graphic user interface. So the GUI is all what I'm seeing right now. So all of this right now is like the graphic user interface. So all I need to do is just click, 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 and then whatever I want to do would happen. If I want to open Visual Studio again, I just need to click on it and it opens. I need to close all of this. Close it. Let's close this. So normally you're not supposed to be seeing that when you open Visual Studio. It's supposed to be really blank. So let's see if I can open a new Visual Studio. Let's see if it's going to be blank. Come on. You can do better than this. Oh yeah, this is how it's supposed to look. I'm going to close this. So when you open your Visual Studio, this is exactly how it's supposed to look. Just a blank, with getting started, supposed to tell you how to use it and stuff like that. Basically, that's how it's supposed to look. You're supposed to be able to create a new file, open a new file, and all of that. Yeah, I'll talk about that in a short while. So graphic user interface and command line interface. I'm just going to open the command line interface. When you see people using the command lines like, oh, they're doing magic and stuff. No, don't be scared. It's not magic. It's way simple, way simple. So it's just over time you develop muscle memory and you'll be able to remember some of these basic syntax and on how to use the command line. So this is the command line interface. To do whatever you want to do, you just type stuff and then it works. Let me check something though. Oh my word. Give me a second. I need to check something. I need to check that I'm not muted. Okay, I'm not muted. Great. I'm going to share my screen again. Okay, great. Yeah. Okay, so you just do stuff by typing into it. So that's the command line interface. And then as against the command line interface, just clicking on stuff like this is the graphic user interface. So I'm going to touch more on it in a short while. Let's go back and see setting up Visual Studio Code. That's the first point. We've already set up the extensions that we need, extensions. So we've already done that. What else do we need to do? Let's see. I think we're good. I think we're good. I think we're good. So you could just switch the settings, to a brighter theme if you want by using this color theme. I prefer a dark mode theme. Whatever works for you. Icon, you just play around your keyboard shortcuts. Yeah, you don't really need that. Settings, if you come to settings, let's see what we can do. You can change the fonts here to however you want it. You can increase the fonts 16, 14. I think 14 is fine for me. You can, yeah, you don't need to touch this, top size. Let's see. Multi-custom modifier. Word drop. I think you need to put this word drop on, like on. Yeah, you need to do that. What else? Yeah, I think every other thing would be already, would already have been done for you. So let's ignore that. Then I also like to auto save because for a change to take place, you have to save those changes by pressing Ctrl S or just file and I think save. Yeah, yeah. But since I activated autosave, I don't need to save. At the end of each keystroke, it automatically saves for me. That's what I do. You might not like that. I don't know. So that's setting up Visual Studio. Now using the command line interface. Awesome. So now there are a couple of ways to use the command line interface. So I'm just going to create a folder. I'm going to create a folder here. I'm going to call it C#. So everything we're going to be working on, it's just going to be on this folder. So yeah, one way to work with the command line interface is just open the command line there. So in the folder you want to work with, just click on this directory. Yeah, if you're using a Windows system, anyways. If you're using a Mac, I'm not so sure you do that. But let's see. But I'll just type in CMD and then it opens the command line for my PC here. If you're using a Mac, I think we should just work with Visual Studio. So on Visual Studio, just click on Terminal and then New Terminal, and then it opens up the terminal for you. Yeah. Or the shortcuts would be Control and hyphen. Just opens and closes it. As if you look at the new terminal, it says for some systems Control Shift hyphen, but for my system I just press Control and hyphen and it works. Okay, then so if you're using your code editor for the terminal, Visual Studio Code, you want to go into, so if you look at this is what it's called, the directory. See, that's your drive. Then inside of your drive, there's a users folder. Inside of your users folder, there's an HP folder. That's for me. Then inside of that, I want to go to the desktop. So all I need to do is dir. All of this I'm doing is for Windows actually. I think for Mac it's ls. I'm not so sure, but for Windows it's dir, and that's to find out where desktop is. This is desktop. So now to change the directory, all I'll do is cd dot desktop. And then you would notice that prior to now, let me increase this size of my screen. You notice that before now, okay, I'm just going to close this by pressing CLS, close. So if before now, it stopped at C users HP, but since I did CD desktop, it went into the desktop directory. Then I want to look for that folder. I want to look for that folder which I just created. I think it's learn C#, but I'm just going to type dir again. It's just going to open up everything, and I'm going to look for the folder. This is it, learn C#. So I'm just going to close again and then do cd, which is change directory to learn C#. And now I am in the learn C# directory. So now I am inside this folder. So what I just did with our terminal is the same thing as what I would do here by just clicking this. So now I am inside, you can see I'm inside the learn C# folder. And then in my VS Code, I'm inside the learn C# folder. If I type in dir now, nothing is inside because in my learn C# folder, it's empty. So what if I create a file here or a folder and name it test? Let me just name it test and type in dir. You see that our folder is there now. Test folder is there right now. All right. So basically, this command line is almost like a quicker way to speak to your computer without the graphic user interface. You don't have to be scared of it. And you probably don't need to do all of this, but you also might need to do it also. So you could just keep on referring to this video. To go into a directory, you do cd and then the name of that directory. To see the directories of to see the things inside a directory, you just type in dir for Windows and then you see whatever is in the directory and you know what you want to go into. So if I want to go into test now, all I do is cd test and then you see that I'm inside the text directory. But what if I want to go back? I don't want to go, I don't want to stay in test anymore. All I need to do is cd dot says go back to the previous directory. And you see that I'm no longer inside of test. So what I just did is I entered test and then I decided to go back out of test, right? And that's just what I did. So I'm deleting that test because we don't need it anymore. I'm going to just do dir to confirm that it's no longer there, it's no longer there. I'm going to close. Now, that's just like to get you comfortable with the command line. So when you install .NET 5 or .NET 3.1, it came with tools that would help your development easy, right? So I'm just going to show you this. If I type in .NET, you'll see that it's telling us if you've not installed .NET, it will tell you that oh .NET is not installed or .NET is not recognized. But if you've installed .NET, it's going to tell you that this is how to use .NET and then the options. So right now I'm talking on using the command line interface for .NET. So it's going to see .NET and then the options. And what are some of the options? H for helps. If I do .NET -H, it's going to show me a lot of things here. Don't be scared. So this is where .NET-H is. It's telling me that the .NET I installed is 5. Executing .NET application, then runtime options and stuff. Most of these things you don't need right now, but I'm just showing you, stuff. So some SDK commands, add, build, clean, list. We're going to be using some of these. We're going to be using new. We're going to be using add. We're going to be using build. We're going to be using run. Let's see. We might use test. We might use remove. We'll use restore. We'll use NuGet. Yeah. So I'm just going to close this so that it's not all over your face. So I'm going to type in .NET again. So another thing is info. It's just going to display .NET information. List SDKs. It's going to list. Okay, let's try that. The number of SDKs we have installed. Let me see if I have more than one. Okay, so I have more than one. I have 3.1. I have 3.1 days, and I have 5.0. I have 3 SDKs installed on my PC. All right, so closing this now. To create a new app, we're going to be working with an app called console application. But to create a new app, you need to use this command .NET new. So at this point, you can now create a folder, or if you're following me to this point, that means you're inside a folder called Lens Fisher. Then you can do this .NET new. It's going to show you all of the .NET packages that comes with your .NET SDK. It's a lot, right? Yeah. You can create a console application. You can create a class library, a WPF, that's a Windows application, WPF library. You can create a worker file, a test file, a Razor component page. You can create a Blazor. Remember when I talked about Blazor, you can create a web app. We're going to be working with this MVC. We're going to be working with this, I think, yeah. We're going to be working with a web API also. Yeah. Then we're also going to be working on console applications. This is what we're going to be starting with, console applications. So what I need to do is .NET new console, then the name of the application, right? So I'm going to do that now. Close this. So .NET new console -n means the name. So dash N, as you can see, it's a bit blurry there, but dash N is what I typed. N for Naira, N for Nigeria, N for nose. Yep, that N. All right. So new console applications, I'm just going to do, let's see, what are we going to use our console for? We're going to say hello. So I'm just going to name it say hello. And then if I click on enter, I'll quickly run through this file. You'll see that it's going to create a project called say hello. Yeah, awesome, right? So it's going to create a project called say hello. It's going to just out of the box write up a project called say hello, give us a program file, give us a CS project file, everything out of the box. It's going to make it easy for us because normally without this, we probably have to write all of this ourselves. And when I say write all of this ourselves, I would open it up so that you see what I mean in a short while. So it succeeded. Yeah, so it says we still succeeded. So just going to do what now? We're just going to go into that project by typing cd, let's see, CL. Yep. So now I am in the say hello project. So now it's not yet opened yet. So what I can do is probably do code space dot, press enter, and then it's going to open up in a new um VS Code application. Yep, there. So now I can close this one while the new one is opening up. So while that's happening, we've talked about setting up Visual Studio Code, we've talked about using the command line. Now we want to say hello with C#. That's like the basic thing you can do with any programming world. There's this thing called hello world. A lot of programmers use that as like the first action or command in a programming language. So even if you're using JavaScript or Python or whatever, the first thing you're supposed to do, I guess, I don't know if it's cliche, but the first thing you're supposed to do is write a command that says hello world, right? Yeah. So let's do that. Okay. All right. So yeah, you can see that it's sprung up this, and then wrote in it a namespace, class, program, static, all of this. We're going to be touching a bit on all of this as we go. Don't be scared, don't be worried. CS Pros, don't worry about this. We're going to touch on it as we go. What else? This, definitely do not worry about that one. Everything comes with, .NET, right? So when you create a new application, all of this comes with it. So don't worry about it. All what you should be worried with at this point is this. And as you can see, it's already written hello world in there. I didn't write any of this. I just did .NET new console -n, and then the name say hello, and then it made this for us. Like awesome, right? So now hello world, right? I'm just going to run this and let's see what happens when I run this. So I'm going to bring this down a bit. Okay, yeah, that's the end. And then to run it, all I need to do is .NET run. Remember when I said we're going to be using run also? We've used .NET new, we've used .NET help, now we're using .NET run. Don't be confused about this. .NET new is to create a new app, and then you give the name of the app, and then the name, you give the name of the app you want, and then the name to call that name, to call that app you're creating. So you're creating more or less like you're creating a car, and then you want to give that car a brand name, right? So you're creating a new app, and there are a lot of apps that you can create with .NET, but you also want to give it a unique name. So let's say I want to create another console app. I need to give it another unique name so that you know that, oh, say hello is different from say goodbye. Say goodbye is different from come here. Something like that. I'm sure you get the picture. Now, .NET Run is to now run the application so that whatever you've programmed, you want to see it in action. If I press enter, it's going to work. It's just going to, compile and then build. It's going to build first, then, run the server and then give us our result, which at this point is a simple say hello. A simple say hello. Let's see. Okay, so it's checking and then it's on your system. It probably won't be this slow. I have a lot of things open on my system right now. Oh, it's run already. So you can see there, it's printed say hello. It's printed hello world. Now, if I just want to say hello with 3 exclamation marks, all I need to do is just change that and then to run it again, and then it's just going to print in hello. Can you see that? So at first it was hello world, now it's hello. So if I wanted to maybe say hello Gabriel, I just need to change that. Oh my god. To hello Gabriel. And then remember, normally I'm supposed to save, but because my system is on auto save, I don't need to save. If I remove auto save and I change something, you'll notice that it's saying one unsaved, and then it's giving me this dot that's signifying that, oh, I need to save this, and then I need to press file and then save. Can you see that? So to avoid doing all of that, I'll just put it on auto save. And then .NET Run. And then this time it's going to say hello Gabriel. As simple as that. Very simple. I'm sure you'll be like, well, this is now we're going to be building our website. Well, yeah, true. Yeah, when you're learning, let's see what's the perfect example for this one. When you're learning how to drive, you probably not just jump in a car and jump on the highway and start driving. You just start from the little things, and then the little things you've gathered from this call is how to move from folder to folder in command line, how to go back in one folder, how to check items in that folder, how to create a new .NET app, and how to run the .NET app. Also, how to say things in the .NET app. So remember, this is a console app, and that's why it says console here. And then right line is saying write in the console, which is what's happening here. We're writing in the console, and then what are we writing? There's a bracket, there's a bracket, and then another bracket, and then we're writing hello world in quotes. We're going to break this down in the next couple of calls, but don't worry. We're writing hello world in quotes and then a semicolon to close. And then if I want to say hello, if I want to make another, let's say, conversation, let's just say console dot write line, hello Gabriel, and I'm like, I am Gabriel, I'm like, oh, hi. How you doing? Having a conversation is difficult, by the way. I don't know. I don't think of a reply. My bad. Okay, so let's see. Let's see another comments. Um, rates. Question mark, right? And then finally, console dot write line. Just fine. I'm doing just fine with the smiley emoji, I guess. Yeah, that's fine. All right. So now we have like a conversation thread there. So let's run it again and see. I'm going to close this and run a new one. So it's going to run and then print out every single thing. Yeah, right. Can you see that? Hello, Gabriel. Oh, hi, how are you doing? Hi, I'm great, thanks. And you? I'm doing just fine. Simple. So we just keep, learning from there. Now we've been able to write to the console. We've been able to say hello. So at this point, if you've gotten to this point, I want to just play around it, change, maybe write five or more console or write line, just play around it, and then write console .NET run it so that it prints in the console and make sure that it's working perfectly. And I want you to try and do that. If you do have any questions, please reach out to me in the Slack channel or in the help channel. Someone else might be able to assist you if I'm not able to assist you. I want us to, to help each other out, find out what the problem is with someone else or what they're not able to solve and what they're able to solve and stuff like that. Let's, work together. Okay, finally, debugging a C# app. Debugging, what's debugging? Debugging. Okay, so bugs, people keep saying stuff like, hold on please, sorry. This is, I don't know, it's painful to use. I don't, it's very painful. I'm sorry about that. I probably get something else for the next call. Or just, revert to the previous settings where I'm just speaking to my laptop. I think that's even clearer. I hope this is clearer also. Okay, yeah, let's see, debugging. Yeah, so when a system is, or when a website has problems, or when an app has problems, you hear terms like bugs. Oh, there's a bug on my website. Oh, there's a bug on this app. Oh, there's a bug there. There's a bug there, right? So that's like a term people use to tell you that, oh, the website is broken or their app is broken. There's something wrong with their app, and it needs to be fixed. That's like a term used by developers. So debugging means you're trying to find that bug. It's not really a literal bug. It's just something that's broken in your app. So debugging means I'm trying to look for what's broken, and then right now I am seeing just 4 lines. So I can just scan through and say, okay, let's say let me remove this, right? So that's a problem. It is a problem, right? Right now it's not showing as though it's a problem. It's supposed to show as though it's a problem because it's supposed to give me like a red line anyways. But that's a problem. So if I run this, it's not going to work. It's going to throw error. Yeah, can you see that? It's saying like it's giving this red line. So whenever it's showing red line, that means there's a problem. Whenever it's showing white lines, you're good to go. All right, so it's giving me this red line, and then it's also giving me the clue. It's saying it's giving the folders and folders and folders and saying, okay, inside our CLO, our program.cs, which is this one, on line 11, character 60, there's an error, a bracket is expected. Exactly. So it's even telling me what to do, right? So that's one way to debug. Just look at the error and look at the error message, and then it's going to, let you know that, okay, this is the issue. But what if um, the error is on multiple places and you can't really figure out where the error is happening? I'm just going to close this because sometimes the error could be very much. Let's see what happens now because I've on purpose spoiled, can you see this? Spoiled like 4 lines of code. So like 4 lines of code have issues. It's also telling me that, oh, these are the problems, right? So I'm just going to repair them. Awesome. Okay, I'm going to remove this one. Yeah, so what if I have this software where like there are multiple thousands of files and everything? I could just go into each file and start looking for the problem. There's another way to debug your app, right? So this is one way, there's another way. I'm just going to close this and remove this. I did control hyphen to close that. Okay, now another way to debug is you can see this, you can see like this icon here. It's a bug, it's a bug-like icon, and then it has like a console saying, "Oh, no bugs," something like "no bugs on this, app. We don't want any bugs." Yeah, so that's what this and on overing it says debug, right? So if I click on it, and then if I click on play, but before I click on play on this part of the app, I can just let me see. It's not allowing me to do that. So let me just click on. Uh, I don't know. It's not allowing me to do that. Give me a second. It's actually not allowing me to do what I wanted to do. Because for some reason, I think let me restart this. I think I need something installed on my PC on the VS Code, and it's not installed yet. Uh, because also supposed to give me like a red squiggly looking line there, but it's not doing that also. Um, Give me a second. It is okay. I'm just going to close this and restart it, and hopefully it's going to work. Um, let's see. I'm going to open it up with code again and see if it's going to um, install all of the dependencies needed. Uh, it's actually not getting it installed for me. Uh, okay, let me see. .NET, some trying to restore the project. Um, Let me clean all of this up. .NET build. Okay. Let's see what happens now. Okay, you know what? For some reason it's not installing the. Okay, I think it's trying to do that now. Failed. Attempt to update address not loaded. Blah blah blah. Save expert. Failed to save response for blah. But not find requests. Okay, yeah, I think it's working now. Yeah, I think it's working now. So now it's giving this error here. So close this, and then the error is gone. You can see that the program is red, and then it's gone. Okay, it's back. Good. Okay, let's see. Great. Now it's working. Sorry about that. So I needed something installed. Basically, it's supposed to automatically install, but I think my internet was bad or something. But I think it has installed now. Yeah. So the second method is I'll just put a marker on the parts that I want to start my debugging from. I probably start from here, and then I come here to try the bug. I create a launch.json and then pick on .NET because that's what I installed, .NET and not .NET Core. And it's going to create a launch.json file here. Okay, run on the bug. Come on. What's happening? It's actually fine that I'm doing all of this on live. So probably when you're facing the same problems, you could just see what's happening right here. Okay, I'm going to just delete this and try create it again. Next, and let's see. Using .NET 5, so good. But let's see. Let's find an XML extension. Let's let's try this. Okay. Let's see. Try running it now. Okay. I think on this part, I'll probably have to make another video for it. For some reason, it's not working as I want it to work. I can't really figure it out on this call. I'm sorry about that. I'll make another video for it. That's the debugging part. Tomorrow, hopefully, I'll make another video for it tomorrow. All right, so just play around with the creating a new app and then printing it to the console, hello world or hello your name or hello whatever. Or you could have a conversation. You could have a 20-line conversation. Nobody's stopping you. Try and do that. And then we'll continue from there tomorrow. Thank you, everyone. I'm going to uninstall this right now because I don't need it anymore. And then I'm going to delete this also so I can work on it later on. All right, stop sharing now. Bye guys, see you tomorrow.